Let me chip in something very important in local storage and session storage that intermediate developers often miss. So there's something we call the scope bubble. If you store a data using local storage on a website and you open a different tab on that same website, the data you stored will still be available on those two tabs you open, meaning you can access them. What I'm trying to say is, if you save a website to have a dark mode using local storage and you open a different tab on that same website, it will result that all those two tabs are going to have dark mode. This is because it was stored in local storage, and local storage is universal across different tabs of a browser. Whereas in session storage, it is inside a bubble. Let's look at the word bubble as a tab. If you store a data in a single tab and you open a new tab, that tab is going to have its own private bubble, meaning private data. So data of a single tab will not be shared to another tab when you store a data using session storage. Look at the idea this way. In local storage, a change in tab A will also be visible in tab B. Whereas in session storage, a change in tab A will stay privately and tab B will never see it. This is where some JavaScript developers consume it the wrong way. Maybe you're among them. They say to themselves that if I set something in session storage, it will appear in all tabs I open. And that never happens. Session storage doesn't share data. Each tab is isolated with its own data. The real question you have to ask yourself is, do I want each tab to have its own data, or do I want all tabs to share it? Before I knew about this, I have always wondered how browsers remember the data I used few days or months ago. If you have also thought about that, that's crazy. Let me hear it in the comment section. You know one funny thing about these two browser storage systems? They look exactly the same because they use the same functions, like set items for storing the data in the browser storage system, get item for collecting the data, remove item for removing an item from a database, and even clear for clearing the entire storage. So because of all these similarities in function, some beginners in JavaScript will think they all behave the same way, but they don't. This is why we call it API illusion. They look the same, but the result they produce is completely different. This is how you store a data using local storage. Local storage.setItem. The keyword setItem is used to store a data on a browser storage system. And the browser storage system we're using here is local storage. Now we have two values. The first one is called the key. The second value is called value. Now, the key is the one holding the value. Anytime you call the key, which is name, you will get an output of the value, which is John. Now, the name John is not stored on your computer. It's not stored on an external memory card. This entire line of code has stored the name John on a browser storage system, which we used local storage. Now, you can close the entire system, come back another time, 1 month, 2 months, you still find your name John stored on the browser because we used local storage system, which saves item permanently until you remove it by yourself. This same function also works with session storage system. Now, if this is the first time you're looking at it, it looks similar. Yes, of course it does, but they serve different purpose. The only difference here is session storage system and local storage system. That is the keyword here. We use session storage system here instead of local storage system. Now, we're also saving the name John to the browser. But now, if I close this tab or I close the browser, the name John will disappear. The browser has already cleared it out of the way. It only lasts if the tab is open or the browser is open. That is why we only store key things inside. So even though all these functions look the same, the lifetime and scope of the data are completely different. The API is one thing. The lifetime and behavior is another thing also. Let me tell you something sensitive that will help you when it comes to security on your website. There are some data that should never be stored on the local storage system or even the session storage system, like passwords, access tokens like login details, refresh tokens, Literally just anything that is very important to the user that must stay safe. So all of this is because the storage can be read by JavaScript. And if a site has an XX vulnerability, then attackers can take what you have stored literally. So all of this very sensitive data belongs to the HTTP only cookies or the server, but not in the web storage that someone can have access to it. Let me get this. Which one among them do you feel is safer to you? And why? Why do you feel that? Let me hear it in the comment section. I believe by now, if you have watched this complete video, you have the understanding between the local storage and the session storage, which will really help you when you start diving more into JavaScript. Hey, if you have been trying to learn web development, but HTML and CSS keep confusing you, then this is for you. I have put together a complete HTML and CSS course that takes you from zero to building a real website step by step. No boring theories, just projects and clear explanation. Some of the insight you will get from this course, you're going to have a clear lesson that breaks everything down for you. You're also going to work with real projects that you can actually add to your portfolio. Not just that, you're going to get tips and best practice that pro developers use. And one of the best part is you're going to get access to Code Dev Academy Discord community, which you're going to use it to get help whenever you're stuck. So if you've been looking for one place that gives you everything to master HTML and CSS with confidence, then this course is that package. Start learning today and keep building from here. The link is in the description box.